Hello, Roadrunner fans. This is JJ Perez from Inside Runner Sports, and welcome to a new episode of the 13 Questions podcast, where I sit down and talk with different people inside of UTSA and ask them the same 13 questions. This week, we are officially at a game week for the Roadrunners, as UTSA is set to take on Houston Saturday afternoon at the Alamo Dome. It's been an interesting offseason for the Roadrunners, as, you know, we saw them make a couple of changes in their staff early in the offseason, go through a spring where it looked like they had a few places where they needed to add some depth, add some of that depth through the transfer portal, and kind of mosey along through the grind of fall camp. And this last week, the Roadrunners used the preparation as a mock game week preparation to face Houston. They had, walkthroughs, a mock game. They even dressed up in their, game jerseys. So they've prepared as much as they can for the 2022 season, and now it is here. Speaking of preparations and getting ready, one of the areas that we saw a little bit of change from this season, from last season, is at the offensive coordinator position. Barry Lunney, the offensive coordinator from last year's team, left UTSA in January to take a job at Illinois. And quickly after that, UTSA decided to promote from within, as they announced that wide receivers coach Will Stein would be moving up to quarterbacks coach and co-offensive coordinator. Today, we sit down and talk with Coach Stein on the podcast, mostly about himself and, kind of his background, but a little bit about football and whatnot. Coach Stein is a former quarterback. He's been with Jeff Traylor at several stops along the way. And although he is a first-time coordinator at UTSA, it is not the first time he is an offensive coordinator in the game of football. He was OC at Lake Travis on the high school level. So pretty good conversation with Coach Stein. He goes in depth about, different things, and I hope you guys enjoy this special guest. We will also chat with defensive coordinator Jess Lepp this week, and look for that to drop, shortly after this podcast drops. So without further ado, 13 questions, offensive coordinator Will Stein. 13 Questions podcast, offensive coordinator Will Stein. Coach, thanks for taking the time out today. It's a new podcast I'm starting where I'm asking everybody inside of UTSA 13 questions. The thing is, it's the same 13 questions, so we get everybody's different answers and try and learn a little bit about each other. So question number one, what's your policy on naps?
On naps?
Naps, yeah.
I love them. I mean, why not? You could take a little nap in the middle of the day. I mean, I was 2 weeks late as a baby. Okay, so my mom always said I love to sleep. I became a morning person, but I'm still a guy that loves to sleep. From the time I was literally coming out of the womb, I was 2 weeks late. So, early bird does get the worm, but it's not bad to have a little nap in the middle of the day.
What's a good time frame of
Good
naps?
time frame for a nap? There's nothing like that, like post-lunch, afternoon nap. It's not going to be a morning nap, definitely an afternoon. You can't do it too late or else you're going to stay up all night.
Yeah.
So, that 1:32 range.
So speaking of sleeping, how often do you have dreams about football? And then what was your most recent dream about?
About football? Yeah, I can't really remember, to be honest. I know I have pretty vivid dreams at times, but sometimes they're just random stuff. Now that I'm going to be a father, there's some baby dreams going on now. Obviously, in my new role, you would think that there's probably some dreams going on, but I'm not waking up remembering them. So I think that's a good thing right now. There's nothing that's being spoken into existence in a bad way. I'll let Coach Traylor have all those dreams. He usually is the dream maker.
Yep. Question number 3, which current person inside of UTSA football have you known the longest, and how did you meet them?
Justin Burke.
Okay.
We played at Louisville together. I've known him since 2008. He's one of my longest friends. He transferred from North Carolina State in 2008 to Louisville, and that's when I was a freshman at Louisville. So being in the same room with him as a quarterback for 3 years, and he was our GA with the quarterbacks for 2, and then worked with him at Texas for 2, now here for 3. So he's one of my longest, my closest friends, somebody that, I could tell anything to, that type of relationship. And so, I've known Justin.
That's pretty cool because you guys kind of, came up together, but knowing someone as a player and through their coaching career is, man, that's different phases of life, right?
He's known me before we started dating. He knew me with, other girlfriends in college. I knew him with other girlfriends in college. Now his wife Caitlin, his baby Knox. It's really cool to see his family grow. And now with me and my wife and our family that's growing, just having that bond with Justin has been really special.
That's pretty cool. So question number 4, if you could pick one form of social media to use and drop all the rest, which one would it be and why?
Twitter.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get most of my news on there. Yeah. I'm looking at that the most. I like that it's limited to a certain amount of characters. So I would say Twitter.
All right. That sounds good. Question number 5, are you a big rap guy? What kind of music? Yeah. Who are the 3 greatest rappers of your generation?
Of my generation?
Yeah. Not all time, just, you're...
Kanye.
Uh-huh.
I'll say Kanye, Lil Wayne.
Okay.
And then probably Jay-Z.
Yeah.
All time, I love Biggie.
Yeah.
Love Tupac growing up. But those 3 really my core years of music and understanding music. Kanye, Weezy, and Jay-Z.
Yeah, the players, they always, I guess they'd call you an old head because that's not their generation.
Still relevant, though.
Yeah.
He's still putting out hits, and Jay-Z obviously producing and everything that he does. And Lil Wayne, I think he's dropping a new album coming up. So,
question number 6. This is something I personally struggle with, so feel free to sidestep this one if you can. What's the best way to get out of a conversation with someone who does not stop talking to you?
It's usually, hey, my boss is calling, and get on the phone.
One. Yeah.
Oh, Coach Traylor's calling.
Yeah.
That's a good way to kind of end it. Or my wife's calling, or somebody important's calling. To kind of deflect, and you got to obviously fake a conversation, but that's usually a good one.
Question number 7 is a personal question for me. Just tell me what keeps you up at night, specifically for this season. Like what's going through your mind at the end of the day?
Just making sure that we have everything planned out, making sure that we've repped everything that we need to. Just crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's. And that's really what keeps me up. It's not necessarily the plays or the schemes. It's just making sure our guys are prepared, And when I feel like they have something down, I don't worry about it. When it's something that might be new or a tweak of the offense or, something I got to get the quarterbacks a specific look, that's the stuff that keeps my head going at night. It's not really the what ifs. The game's going to be the game. We're going to be, virtually reading off a script. There's going to be certain calls that you have to make from your gut, but you have everything so planned out before the game, it makes it easier to call. But definitely just the planning keeps me up for sure.
Question number 8. Are you an NBA guy, a basketball guy?
Yeah, I like the NBA playoffs. My little brother's a huge NBA fan, so I follow it.
Who's your NBA GOAT? Kobe, LeBron, or Michael Jordan?
Michael's one.
Yeah.
I remember watching the step back against the Jazz like it was yesterday. He's my one. LeBron's got to be 2, but I love Kobe Bryant.
Yeah.
I love his just tenacity,
the
mama
mentality,
mentality, the way his work ethic, the way he practiced, the way he demanded greatness from his teammates. So I do love Kobe more than both those other ones.
Yeah.
I like him more as a player, but Michael's the GOAT.
Yeah.
I'd say LeBron. It's hard to say he's not.
It's a generational thing, I think, right?
Sure. Yeah, totally.
Question number 9, and I've been surprised with this answer by various people, but a genie appears and offers you the opportunity to go back to the beginning of your career and start over. You get to retain the knowledge you know now. Would you go back? Start all over?
With the knowledge I have right now?
Right now, yeah.
I don't think so.
Really?
Yeah. I've enjoyed the process. I've enjoyed the learning. Maybe going back in time with all the knowledge I have now, I probably wouldn't have been as dedicated and worked as hard because I had a lot of answers that I was always searching for. So, no, I wouldn't. I enjoyed all the mentors that I had, all the learning that I had, all the butt chewings that I got from coaches, and it's all part of the process. So I don't think I would change it.
This is a hypothetical question. Number 10, I want you to think of celebrities, movie stars, famous sports figures. Coach Traylor, yourself, and Ryan Philo have to miss a game. You're in charge of who gets to be the replacements, but it has to be a celebrity so the marketing department can market it. Who are the 3 people you choose? Head coach, OC, and strength and conditioning.
Can be celebrities?
Celebrities, yeah. Anybody famous, yeah.
Okay, strength and conditioning, I'll go with The Rock.
Yeah, that's a pretty common answer. I think that's a good one.
I mean, OC, dang. Tom Brady.
Okay, that's not bad.
He's 45 years old.
Yeah.
Knows probably everything reference in the book.
Yeah.
Seen every situation. Head coach. Let's go really outside the box here.
Okay.
Really funny. Danny DeVito.
Yes. Okay. That's a good one.
Just some wild child. Just some guy that's just going to be, who knows, the wild card on the sideline.
That's kind of the opposite of a Jeff Traylor, right? A short guy.
I was going to say Danny DeVito or Al Pacino.
Oh, yeah.
I was thinking Al Pacino. I couldn't remember his name.
Yeah,
I was like, well, I'll go Danny DeVito.
Nice.
Or you'd go from the Waterboys coach, too.
Oh, yeah.
What's his name?
I know who you're talking about, yeah.
Yes, he has a green notebook out there.
Yeah.
Calling plays.
The Fonz, Henry Winkler.
Yes, Henry Winkler. Yeah, maybe we'll go with Henry. That'd be a good one.
Yeah, we'll mark that one down.
Okay.
Question number 11. Thinking about your personal life, what was the last new habit or lifestyle change you're particularly proud of?
Whoa, new habit or lifestyle change? My wife will like this one because she'll probably disagree with anything I'm saying right now. Shoot, I'm not really sure. I need to get better at stuff. I know that. I need to work out more. I need to eat better.
Yeah. It's hard, right? The hours and
it is, but it's not. There's plenty of time. I'm just my mind races a lot, and I think about work or think about other things where I need to be able to take a breath and refocus. But I know one thing. I got to November 27th when that baby comes. There's gonna be a lot of new habits and changes in my life.
Yeah, for sure. Question 12 of 13. When you think about UTSA football 5 years from now, what are you most optimistic about and what worries you the most?
I'm optimistic about the growth and the potential of this place. You know, Coach always says potential's everything. You're not. But with the city that we have, with the fan base that we have, being in the state of Texas, in this great city, I grew up in Louisville, played at Louisville, and they were Conference USA. They played in old Cardinal Stadium.
Yeah.
It was a commuter school. And when football got going, because there was already a basketball program, they already won 2 national championships. When football got going, it completely changed the landscape of the city.
Yeah.
They went from CUSA to the Big East, Big East to the American to the ACC.
Yeah.
So I've seen it firsthand what a football program can do for a city, can do for a university, and it is life-changing for so many people. So I see that as like a UTSA. Why not here?
Yeah.
And why can't this be like a Louisville? Why can't it be like a TCU?
Yeah.
And I really do believe it's going that direction. With conference realignment, who knows what will happen in 5 years, but I know we're on the right path. I know our administration does a great job of supporting Coach, and he does such an unbelievable job of marketing and just developing kids that it's definitely on the right path. I don't know if there is a lot of fear, I think it's just up to us to go get it done.
Yeah.
I guess the only fear could be complacency, from us as a staff, players, program, city. There can't be any complacency. It's got to be 1 foot forward and just keep grinding, keep getting this thing where we want it to go.
Yep. Question number 13, last question here. Coach always tells us y'all used to live together at y'all's time in Austin. What's something you could tell us about Coach Trader, about his lifestyle living with him? Is he clean? Is he messy?
Totally clean. No, totally clean, totally normal. Loves salads. I mean, we would always eat salads. He's always
big salad guy. Yeah,
no.
I think he gets one every day here.
Yes, driving home because we would carpool a lot. Just all the Jeff-isms that you all probably hear now. I was hearing as a GA for him in the car back in 2015 and 16.
Probably write a book about Jeff.
For sure. But it's amazing. He is. It's really, it's weird. It's amazing how he can speak things into existence.
Yeah.
And, it's all just his mindset is so forward thinking that he would tell me things back then that came true now.
Yeah.
He would tell me about his Gilmer teams and how, his culture pillars. I remember him in the car doing the pinky
hand,
finger,
yeah.
ring finger, mental physical toughness, selfness, perfect effort.
How long ago was that?
That was in 2015.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, that sounds great. It's awesome. But who knows? I didn't know if I would ever see him in this role, because who knows? With football, It's so crazy. But when he got his chance, always staying in touch with him, he what he says is what he does. And that was the coolest part to me, is seeing what he said back in 2015 with us, with late night conversations, with the drive homes, that it all came true.
Yeah.
And he made me a believer back then, and I'm even more a believer now in him and his program and the way he treats people and just his recipe for success. It works.
Well, that'll wrap it up for the podcast. Will Stein, 13 Questions Podcast. Appreciate it, Will.
Thanks.
Offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach Will Stein on the 13 Questions Podcast. Thanks for Coach Stein taking the time out of their schedule. These guys, man, they have a jam-packed schedule. They come off the practice field. They grab lunch on the go. They have meetings. They're breaking down film. They're grading stuff. They're preparing. So there isn't a lot of time. We don't get to talk to the coordinators all of the time, and it's because they're super, super busy in their schedule and meetings and everything. And they actually carved out some time for us Friday, and that was a kind of a special day. Usually there isn't anything on Fridays because it's the day before a game, and they kind of shut everything down. But they made some time for us this past Friday, and I appreciate it. I thought it was pretty interesting conversation with Coach Stein. He's a younger guy, obviously a lot of energy. I think he connects well with the players. The biggest takeaway I kind of took away was his time at Louisville, kind of shedding light on what he's most optimistic about is UTSA as a program, just building and getting to that next level. And I think the key thing he said there is we don't know what's going to happen with conference realignment, and who knows what happens in the future. But for the Roadrunners, it feels like they're in a good spot, no matter what happens. Moving to the American, time will tell if they're able to be competitive. But just seeing the program grow from nothing to something in a relatively short time, I mean, there are a lot of parallels there. And for Coach Stein to mention that, I think that's something, UTSA fans could take away from that. So I appreciate everybody listening. Again, thanks to OC Will Stein for the time. Up next, here later today, look for my conversation with defensive coordinator Jess Lepp, who that's also a pretty interesting talk. So we'll see you guys on that episode. Appreciate everybody for listening. Thanks a lot.